is saying so. Parents have had to complain about how their children were placed. So crucially, we cannot say that the inflation has helped to stabilize prices. No, that is not the case.
Take you right now there to Parliament. The minority leader is answering questions because after their engagement, they are now receiving questions from journalists. Let's take you there right now.
But proud to that, we know of the Anas Arimayel expose in 2010. I think that we must be collective. We, the political parties, must be collective and see that Galamsey as a common enemy. Because you see, when President Akufo-Addo boldly announced to the Ghanaian public that, look, I am even putting my presidency on the line, he meant well. But it is not President Akufo-Addo who would go into the forest in person. He has to implement that policy, that pledge, through people. And that is where we had challenges. I again recall that some constituents in the early days of the Galamsey fight had come to me that, oh, it looks like their friends are calling them to go back. Because these were fishermen who had been recruited to work on people's land, sites. And because of the fight, they had come home to do their fishing. And they had been called to go back. What was it? What they told me, oh, the soldiers allowed them to do it in the night. And they take some money from them. So their guys were calling them that, oh, there's still business. So come back and do it. The point I want to make here is that because of the partisan approach to it, these people who are involved in the business get protection. Because look at it. In 2020 elections, MPP lost all the mining areas. And there are videos where our friends in the NDC were there in these constituencies telling them that, oh, they are sacking you, they are denying you of your bread. So when we come, we will find a way of giving you cover or protection. There are videos, credible videos. So in the end, it became a partisan thing. But when those water bodies are polluted, like recently the Ayensu situation, the Ayensu River was so much polluted, those who drink are not covered by partisan colors. They are Ghanaians. The food we buy in Accra, the cassava, the vegetables, all of us are at risk. So for me, I will concede that political leaders could have handled this better if the enthusiasm, the momentum, that civil society, then led by my good friend and senior brother from Chame, Ken Ashigbe, you know, what they started with City FM way back. If the political parties had given it the needed support, I'm sure would have gotten somewhere. So, unto my friends, I give them my word as a leader of the minority in Parliament. I'm ready to support them if they themselves are more than ready to confront the issue head-on. So far, because they seem to be benefiting from this gold board is buying gold. You know, these same Galamseyers are selling to the gold board. Is there any mechanism to determine which gold is coming from the right source? And because the money is coming for them to stabilize the economy, stabilize the city, they are pretending, you know, that they don't know the sources of much of the gold that they are getting. But if we are ready, they are ready, because they have the government now. They have the authority of states. If they are ready, trust me, outside in parliament, I would lead my colleagues to support government to deal with this, because Galamsey is affecting my constituency. Though my constituents are not involved in Galamsey, the water we drink come from upstream, all the way from the eastern region. Ayensu, we know where Ayensu flows from, all the way and ends in Winneba. So that's one thing. On the second issue of whether or not Parliament is broke, I'm sorry, as for that, I'm unable to answer. I will rely on the public statement that was issued by Mr. Speaker to explain why Parliament could not reconvene. He said, quote, circumstances beyond my control, end quote. So I don't have any other answer. Leader of government business is here. If he has some other information, he may share. But I would want to rely on what Mr. Speaker himself put out as a reason for not being able to get Parliament to reconvene. As to being broke and all that, they are your words. I don't know about it. So, colleagues, thank you for indulging me. Leader, I don't leave here out of disrespect. Bear with me. I have a pre-arranged meeting. I need to leave. I leave you with two able, your own madam is here. Don't bully her. Don't bully your mother. Don't bully your mother. And then your junior brother Jerry is here. Or you will leave for the two deputies. Yes, I think so. Or what do you think? Let's vote on this. The two leaders can leave. Then the deputies can. The monkeys play by sizes. I'm not too comfortable leaving my mother in your hands. So let's go.
He answered the questions that were posed to him, so let me just answer the ones that were posed to me as well, after which I can also leave, and our deputies may continue. Okay, so let's start with the last item, which is the fight against Galamsey. Truth of the matter is, I have been listening to the discussions, and I know it is something that we are all very passionate about. Whenever there's any threat to life, our reaction is generally different, and it can get very emotional. And in the midst of the emotions, facts get lost, okay? So, first thing is, the president and the government have clearly indicated a commitment to fight Galamsey. What have we done? Government has indicated all the steps that have been taken. You know, we've always been involved in small-scale mining activities. And we've always lived with small-scale mining activities. I recall when I was a law student, I was a research assistant to a teaching assistant, actually, of Fuichikata, who was lecturing natural resources law. And he recruited me to do research, field research on small-scale mining practices and activities, because at that time, he was trying to propose legislation to govern small-scale mining activities. We're talking about 26, 27 years ago. And I did go around the country with a geologist 27 years ago, with a geologist from Geoman Consult. I don't know if any of you knows Geoman Consult. And we went from community to community where small-scale mining activities, which is what Galamsey is, small-scale mining activities, unless the person engaged in the activity has a license. If you don't have a license, it is Galamsey. If you have a license, it is called small-scale mining. And it is in degrees. You have artisanal mining, which is what a lot of our young boys are engaged in, where they go and they just feel that there's gold here, and they start digging with pickaxes, with shovels, with headpans, and then they are carrying it to locations where they do the washing. That one is called artisanal mining. And it's been happening for years, in fact, for centuries. That's how mining was done until the Europeans came with large-scale mining activity where they introduced excavators and mechanized mining. Otherwise, we're doing artisanal. And the artisanal has persisted up to date. What was Ghana's problem? Ghana's problem started when people discovered that they could bring Chinese to come and join them, and the Chinese could afford machines, and they will work with the Ghanaians so that what I could use my pickaxe to dig for a month, the Chinese would dig out with their excavators in 2 days. So the level of exploitation accelerated through the utilization of machines. So the movement from artisanal hand digging by our young people who are unemployed and think that if they dig and get something, they can also sustain themselves. The movement from there to the use of excavators and dozers is what really became our problem. That was the real issue, because the scale just got huge within a very short period of time. So this government took a decision that we have to deal with that part of the problem. Hence the decision that we will seize every equipment that we find to stop that rapid, deterioration that is happening. And as at July, when the media briefing of the Minister for Mines occurred on the 23rd of July, he indicated that we had seized 177 excavators. 177 excavators, 4 bulldozers, 12 vehicles, 43 motorcycles, 155 pumping machines, 184 changfangs, 15 detector machines, 10 heavy-duty generators, and arrested over 1,345 people. Now, for those who are interested in the fight against Galamsey, when government says this, what I expect is to go out and confirm if this number of seizures did occur. Because
that's the Majority Leader, Mahama Ayaraga. He will take us on to our very first break on this edition of News Central. We'll return with a bit more stories from other sectors for you. Stay with us.
Why are more and more professionals choosing flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love flamingo paint because with this small paints, I paint huge area, meaning more perfect.
Welcome back. Now, the Accra High Court has granted the former Deputy Director of National Service Authority, Gifty Mensah, a 10 million cedi bail with 3 sureties. Mensah pleaded not guilty to multiple charges, including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering for allegedly generating 9,000 ghost names for the authority the NSA's central management system, leading to the loss of over 38 million cedis. Lord Edwasare is our court correspondent who sat through proceedings today. Lord, what else can you report about today's development?
Right, Kemini. So, Gifty or Mensa pleaded not one count of stealing, 2 counts of causing financial loss to the states, 1 count of using public office for profits, and then money laundering. Per the bail conditions, she's also supposed to report to the police investigators every Tuesday and Thursday, every first Tuesday and Thursday of the month. She's supposed to deposit her passports at the registry. The 3 sureties which we indicated who are supposed to justify are also supposed to submit their Ghana cards at the registry. And then she's being put on a stop list at all entry points in the country. As we speak, we've gotten details that she's gone to the NIB because she's still trying to work around the bail conditions. It's quite a strenuous procedure with all the documentation and all that. So she's gone to the NIB to go and continue, and then we understand she may come back to the court to work with the sureties who then justify her case. Now, we are still following this closely because per the prosecution's case, defense lawyers actually prayed for the court to get investigators to escort her to the hospital because they indicated that she was still unwell and was supposed to have gone to the hospital for a medical treatment and checkup. But because of the court proceedings today, she had to skip that and come. The court did not really agree to that and then granted the bail. She herself in court today, she looked a bit frail. And Kemini, you recall that the last time we were in court, her lawyer, led by Gary Nimakun, told the court that she had submitted a 2-day medical excuse duty because she had been detained at the police hospital. And so, fast forward today, she was clad in a colorful apparel with a brown trousers with a black scarf and looked quite frail and
very well.
So we'll see monitoring. And then finally, the prosecution have been ordered to file their disclosures before 19th of November, and then as to reappear before the court on November 25th.
I see, Lord, you hang in there with us because we also know that a 45-year-old French teacher at the Labone Senior High School is facing a charge of indecent assault after allegedly molesting a female student of the school. The French teacher has pleaded not guilty to the charge and has been granted bail as well. Lord, what can you tell us about that case that came up at the district court today?
Right, so Godwin Adigli, he's a French teacher at the Labone Senior High School. From the prosecutor's case on August 28, he forcefully inserted his fingers into the private parts of the victim, who is 16 years old, a female student of the school. According to the prosecution, he asked her to come to the French lab, and that was where the incident occurred. Now, he pleaded not guilty in court today, but the prosecution indicated that upon his arrest on September 1st, he admitted to possibly inserting his fingers and then kissing the victim for a few minutes. He was in court today himself. His plea was taken. Again, the prosecution has been asked to file the disclosures for the continuation of this case. So that case is back in court on December 10. The prosecution prayed for an expedited trial, but the lawyer for the defense indicated that he has quite a packed calendar, and that was why the case has been adjourned to December 10.
Lord, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Lord Edwasare is our court correspondent, bringing us those developments from the law courts. Now, away from that, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union and staff of Prudential Bank have begun a protest against management over what they say is unfair salary adjustments. The workers, who had earlier reached an agreement for a 15% increment across the board, claim management has instead given the raise to only 55 employees. They insist the move is discriminatory and undermines the value of the rest of the workforce.
We were given an offer of 15%, and that was not even what we expected in today's economy. But we have to make concessions and compromises. A 15% is a huge concession. And we accepted the 15%. And we agree that the 15% should be implemented with effect from January 2025. As I speak, nothing. That has not been implemented. And we
was not so far away from
just
us.
our neighbors.
Yeah. That's our bulletin for you today, an abridged version. And just before we do that, I'm just getting word we have to put before you
just one more.
Yeah, just one more in terms of first-year students across the country who've had to settle in, but a few are still going through the registration process. It's a story put together by Nura Mohammed. Let's take a listen in.
Authorities at senior high schools across the country have commenced preparations to induct first years into their respective schools. Gifty Yando is the headmistress at the Accra Girls Senior High School.
The admission process has been very smooth. Though we had the numbers, we are looking at about 1,000 students. But fortunately, we were supposed to start on the 18th. And we started on that same day. Because a number of them came, it made the process quite smooth for us. We didn't experience so many people coming at a go. By Sunday, the number had shot up to 406. This week, it's not official orientation for them, but then the official orientation is supposed to start next week, 27th.
Some first-year students shared the excitement.
What are you feeling? Are you excited to start school?
Yeah, very excited, but also scared.
Was this school your first choice?
Yes, please.
I'm excited.
Excited?
Yes, please.
You're ready to take on the world?
Yes.
Okay. What about you?
I'm also excited. Yes, please.
But things look calm on day 2 of this exercise.
We're back here at Presec Legon to check on the first-year senior high school students' enrollment and registration process. We were here yesterday, and when we came, the numbers were overwhelming, juxtaposed to today's lessened numbers. Today, we can just count a few students and their parents here to complete their registration process. We have reached out to the school to tell us how they have been able to manage and contain the situation since yesterday, but have since received no comments.
It is the beginning of a new academic year, and while the government is currently phasing out the double-track system, with 99 schools returning to the single-track model for the 2025-2026 academic year, it aims to complete this transition with the remaining schools by 2027. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
And so the young ones going to school, I remember some years ago we had to go through that as well.
Well, I didn't have to.
You weren't in boarding?
Well, I was, but I didn't have to go through the stress. I know you did.
Well, it's not really about the stress. I'm speaking to, I didn't go through stress as well. I'm speaking to going to school.
Oh, because you got your first choice. But you used the computerized system. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Technology is a good thing. Not going to the board and having to go looking for your names.
That's not how it worked. It was so simple.
It wasn't.
It was effortless. And look at the queues you have to join now.
Anyway,
oh my goodness.
That's a bulletin for
join on my era, please. We have to go now.
I am Mawuena Egbeta.
And I am Kemini Amanor. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Next is the afternoon show.
Looking for your name on there.